Hello guys, in today's video we are discussing about pecking order theory. Now this topic is relevant for ACCA, AFM and FM students. Now this pecking order theory, this will actually tell you a logical way of raising the finance. Now let's say I need some finance for a project. So obviously there must be some logical way of raising the finance, right? So this is what pecking order theory will tell you. According to pecking order theory, you should first raise the finance through retained earnings, which is also known as internal fundings or internally generated funds. Then, secondly, you should go for external funding, and in external funding, you will go for debt financing. Then, lastly, you will go for equity financing. So, this is the order that pecking order theory recommends. Now, one by one, let us discuss each of the order. So firstly, we should raise the finance through retained earning, right? This is what pecking order theory says. A retained earning means your retained cash. So whatever cash is available with you, you can use that cash. Now basically retained earning is the best source of finance. The question is why it is the best source of finance. Now basically cash is available immediately, right? It is my money, right? Whatever cash is retained with me, so obviously that cash is available immediately. Secondly, there is no issue cost involved, right? I don't have to bear any issue cost. Then thirdly, we don't have to go and convince outsiders for the money because it is my money, right? So I can use it anywhere. So I don't have to go and convince any bank or any other financial institution, right? It is my money, I can use it anywhere. So this is the reason why we say that retained earning is the best source of finance. Okay, now retained earning, that is also known as internally generated funds. Okay, now it is possible that I don't have enough cash in retained earnings, right? That is quite possible, right? Maybe my company, they don't have any retained cash available. So let's say if I don't have any retained cash available, so on the second number, I will go for debt financing, because this is what pecking order theory has suggested, right? They have given an order of raising the finance. First retain earning, then debt, right? So let's say we don't have any retained cash available. So now next I will go for debt financing. Now debt is a cheaper source of finance. The question is why it is a cheaper source of finance? Because on debt you have to pay interest, right? So due to the payment of interest, your tax is saved. Let me tell you how. Now, if you just recall your profit or loss statement, so basically in your P&L, from your profits, you will minus the interest, right? Now, after deducting the interest, whatever profit is left, on that profit, you will pay the tax. So don't you think that due to the payment of interest, my profits will be reduced, right? My profits will be reduced. So if my profits are reducing, so therefore your tax will also reduce, right? So that's why whenever you will pay interest, so due to your interest payments, your tax will be saved. Then secondly, debt holders, they will demand lower return. Why? Because they are secured. Because in the event of business liquidation, they are the first one who will be paid, right? So they will receive the money first because they are secured. So since they are secured, so they will be demanding lower return. Okay, so that is the second reason why we say that debt is a cheaper source of finance. Then thirdly, due to issue cost of debt, again your tax will be saved. Okay, so debt is cheaper source of finance, but retained earning is the best source of finance, and I have given you the reason why it is the best source of finance. So if now let's say if a business raised a finance in the form of debt, so it will provide a positive signal to the stock exchange. Now let me tell you how it will provide a positive signal to the stock exchange. Now basically, it will tell the level of confidence, it will tell the level of confidence to the shareholder that my company, we are able to pay the interest, plus we are able to pay the principal amount easily. That's why we are going for debt financing, right? Because on debt you have to pay your interest regularly without any delay. Okay, no matter what, whether my company is generating any cash, any profit or not, still I have to pay the interest, right? So obviously it will provide some positive signal to the stock exchange that my company is able to pay the interest and we are able to pay the principal amount. That's why we are going for debt financing. Then secondly, my finance provider, they are also confident that we can pay them back. Otherwise they will not give you the loan, right? So they also have confidence in your company that you can pay them back. Okay, it means your credit rating is very good. That's why they're giving you the loan on good terms. So that was all about debt. So first I will go for retain earning, then debt. Now on the third order you will go for equity financing. Okay, so over here we will use the term new equity. That means I will be issuing new shares, because retain earning, that is also an equity, right? So that's why over here I'm using the term new equity. Now equity is an expensive source of finance. Now if you have ever looked at your WAC question, so you will always see that KE, cost of equity, is always greater than KD1 minus T, cost of debt, right? You can check in any of the question. In every question you will find that your KE, cost of equity, is greater than cost of debt, KD. Okay. Now the question is why it is an expensive source of finance. Now basically, shareholder, they face the highest risk because they are not secured. They are the owners, right? So in case if my business liquidate, so they will receive money in the end. Now let's say if nothing is left in the end, so it means they will receive nothing. So it means they are facing the highest risk. So since they are facing the highest risk, so they will demand higher return. So that's why your cost of equity is always high. Then secondly, you have to bear issue cost. Uh, and due to issue cost of equity, your tax is never saved. Then thirdly, if if shares are issued, so that will give a negative signal to the stock exchange. The question is why will it give a negative signal to the stock exchange? See, the best source is a retain earning, right? Then second, uh, we will go for debt financing, and in the end I will go for equity financing, right? So it means that we don't have any retained cash with me, right? Secondly, I'm not able to raise any loan. Banks are not willing to give me the loan. So that's why I'm going for equity financing. Okay, so that's why this will give a negative signal to the stock exchange because they will assume that I don't have any cash with me. Secondly, the banks are not willing to provide any loan to me. That's why we are going for equity financing. So that was all about pecking order theory. So in pecking order theory, first of all, you have to raise the finance to retain earnings. Then you will go for debt financing, and in the end you will go for equity financing. And I have also given you the reason why we have to follow this order. So I hope you guys like the video. So if you want more such videos, then do subscribe my channel. Thank you.